So as you mentioned, Jason, Levy ran it at Ole Miss 48 times on average last year compared to the 34 for Oklahoma. So a few things there for me is number one, I think that's pretty substantial. So at 34, you add 14, you're talking about a 1/3 jump, like a 35% jump in rushing attempts. The other thing that I would want to know though, Matt Corral, their quarterback at Ole Miss, ran quite a bit. Now Caleb Williams, of course, and Spencer Rattler. They're mobile quarterbacks who take off with the ball as well, especially Williams. So I don't know how that compared, but I know Corral was a pretty significant runner. I don't know if that was included in those rushing attempts, but
Yeah, I think so, and I think that may be a little bit of difference. He Gabriel, he's a little bit more athletic, and he's a little quicker than I think he probably gets credit for, and then that a lot of us kind of coming in didn't necessarily think that he had. But I don't think that you see him run as much as a Matt Corral, so I think that kind of lends it to some more, maybe more touches out of the traditional kind of running back slot um, than certainly you would that Ole Miss employed last year, or that that you will see this year.
I thought we had a quarterback, Dylan Gabriel poll, something related. I guess not. Okay.
I think we skipped on that because I think that would probably have been incredibly overwhelming.
Yeah, pretty obvious there. I will mention that I didn't see it firsthand myself, but I was told that Stanford Steve, Scott Van Pelt's sidekick on ESPN, and who knows what else he's involved in, had forecasted, and he's very much a betting oriented guy. So I'm thinking that he's not necessarily predicting Dylan Gabriel to win the Heisman, but is pinpointing him as considering the odds to be maybe the best bet to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, I did see that, Mark. I saw that I think on Twitter a few days ago or last week, whenever it was. That's interesting. I mean, he's obviously going to be someone that's from a betting perspective, to your point, would be great. But I think he's obviously going to be on the outside looking in. I think coming into the season, you've got. Um, I mean, I think you've probably got when you look at it early on, you've got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, and probably um, Will Anderson. I think right there, those are probably your three favorites. Coming into the year with maybe Bijan Robinson in that mix, and Oklahoma fans, hold your ears. Caleb Williams will probably be in the mix in terms of the top five, top seven guys too. But yeah, it's certainly as a guy that comes out of nowhere. I mean, look at Bryce Young. I mean, obviously, as a no experience last year, you wouldn't expect him to have been part of that conversation. But I mean, these preseason polls and Heisman rankings is interesting because Rattler was one of the top, if not number one, number two last year in terms of the kind of the preseason Heisman projections. So those are really fun to kind of look at and think about after the season. But yeah, he's a guy coming from out of nowhere that might certainly be part of that consideration.